Okay, so I'm going to do some Premier League predictions for this set of games this weekend, as well as also the League Cup final. I think might make a thing of this over the last few weeks of the season. Might do this weekly till the end of the season. Actually, obviously this is the last set of games for the international break, so it's an important weekend for a lot of teams. We'll start with first game, Friday night game. This one, Bournemouth against Man United. Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth 10th, I think, right now. Man United up in third. Man United going very strong, looking good for third place at this moment. Not an easy place to go though, away at Bournemouth. Could be a potential slip up for them United, but the way they're playing at the moment, really good run of form they're on. I don't see anything but a Man United win here, so I'm going to say 2-1 to Man United in that one there. Brighton against Liverpool is on Saturday now, so Brighton, hard team to predict really, to be honest. I think, where are they? I think 12th. The moment, in the middle. They're not really looking like they're going to get into Europe or go down, so it's a bit of a free hit for them now. But I think they'll want to finish the season strong because they've definitely shown a lot of potential this season, that they could be right up there, could do a lot better. But they've been inconsistent. They have some really good results and some really bad results. They've lost a lot of games that you'd expect them to have won, but also won a lot that you may have had some results that you maybe wouldn't have expected over the whole season, to be honest. So could they potentially make a bit of a slip up for Liverpool here, because Liverpool really need to get in the top four, probably top five, whatever it will be, to qualify for the Champions League. It did progress through to the quarter-final in the Champions League this week, so they are starting to... They're still in the cup as well. The season could still be a good season for Liverpool, but there's a lot of question marks about slot. There's been a very inconsistent year, so things aren't going how they're not going how they would have wanted at the start of the season at all, but they could still get Champions League for sure. So but to do that, I feel like they will want the win here for sure. I think I'm gonna go for 1-1. I've got a feeling Brighton might do something here. Simply because Liverpool are so inconsistent when it comes to the Premier League. We see that game against Spurs last week, and Liverpool do seem to be playing better in Europe, and going into this game, I think this could be a bit of a problem fixture for them, to be honest. Fulham against Burnley. Fulham at home. Burnley are looking like they've gone now. They're looking like they're going to go down. They're 9 points from safety, sitting in 19th. They are not looking in the best of ways. I'm not sure Wolves are even good. They're even finish above Wolves at the way they're going. They're getting the odd point on the board, the odd draw, but like last week, in fact, against Bournemouth, and they also put in a real fight against Brentford and Chelsea. They got a draw as well, so they're just not winning games, and I can't see how they're going to have any sort of chance of catching up with the teams above them. Fulham, 11th place, slim chance of Europe. It's very slim now. There's a couple of bad results recently have hindered any sort of European push, I think. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Fulham. It should be a comfortable home win for them, really. Okay, so Everton against Chelsea. Now, obviously, talking from a Chelsea perspective, we really need to win this game after the recent results. I'm going to do a more in-depth video about Chelsea and in reaction to that awful game we had the other night. But just talking about this game for now, worried coming into this, to be honest. I really hope I'm wrong. Obviously, we really need to win here. I really hope we do. But the way Everton are going, they're on good. They're in decent form. They play quite well at home as well. They sit 8th. They've got a good chance at a European finish. And the way we're playing at the moment, unfortunately, I'm going to go for 2-1 to Everton. But I really hope I'm wrong. Leeds against Brentford. This is a late game on the Saturday. So Leeds at home. Last time out, they got the draw at Palace, and they had 10 men for a lot of the games as well. So an impressive performance from them. They needed that as well, because the run of form they're on recently was just getting a bit. It's looking like they could get pulled down into it, but they're still not out of the relegation battle. But they definitely look for me like a team that, out of all of the teams that are still in the picture, the most comfortable. I think they'll be all right, Leeds. I think they might do something at home against Brentford. Brentford were 2-0 up against Wolves the other night, and it ended up 2-2 in the end. So not that great for them, but they're 7th. They're just behind us actually. And they look like they've got a really good chance of playing in Europe for the first time next season, especially as the Conference League could go down to 8th place in the league. I think Brentford have got a really good chance. That said, I think Leeds will get something at home. I think they need to get points on the board in these remaining fixtures, particularly in the home games of Leeds, just to make sure they stay out of trouble. So I'm going to go for 1-1 in that match. Newcastle-Sunderland, massive one this is on the Sunday. Sunderland could do the double over Newcastle, where they won 1-0 against them last time out. Sunderland, such a good start to the season, but their recent form, particularly their home form, has fallen off. They had those 2 defeats at home recently to Brighton and Liverpool. They was obviously on really good home form. They were the last team to remain unbeaten at home up till quite recently. Port Vale knocks back the cup as well, didn't turn up in that. But now they're definitely safe, Sunderland. They're any sort of European push has sort of faded away a bit. 13th now. Newcastle's league form picks up slightly with the wins against Newcastle and with the wins against Man United and at Stamford Bridge as well. But they also exited the Champions League quite badly as well. They really got beat quite heavily by Barcelona in the end. So I think Sunderland might get something from this fixture. I think it could be a good game though. I'm going to go for 2-2. Sunderland, like I say, they're inconsistent now. They're sort of finishing the season quite inconsistent, but they're also getting the odd good result. Like the 1-0 win away at Leeds is a really good result. But then they also had the 1-0 loss at home to Brighton, which wasn't so good. But they do seem to be picking more points up away from home now, which I wasn't doing earlier in the season. So I think this might be I'm not sure. I think Newcastle might be a bit deflated now. All they've really got to fight for now is the league, and they could in theory still get in Europe through the league, and I suppose that's what they'll have to put everything into now. But Sunderland, I think, will definitely want to show up for this fixture, for sure. So we've got Aston Villa against West Ham. Big game this one because Villa have lost 3 on the bounce, really need to turn it around to hang on to this top 4 or top 5 position. They want to qualify for the Champions League now. It'll be a shame for them, and they could win. They're in the Europa League. They definitely got a good chance of winning that as well. They're playing Lille tonight. They're 1-0 up. That could come into play as well because they could obviously qualify by winning that. But what I'm thinking here is that West Ham have had the whole week off, whereas Villa are having to play on Thursday night, and this could work in West Ham's favour, particularly as they've shown a massive improvement of form recently. Like, really, really good point last time out against City. Huge point, actually. I think West Ham will be safe now. I think it's going to be between Forest and Spurs, who play this weekend. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But the way they're going, West Ham, Nuno's improved a lot. They've massive upturn in form. I think they're going to be all right, and I think they might actually get something away at Villa, with Villa playing on the Thursday, and also the fact their league form's taken a bit of a hit recently. I'm going to go for 1-1 in that game. Yeah, the top 4 race is interesting at the moment. We're on really bad form. Villa's form's really dropped off, and you've also got Liverpool, who are really inconsistent as well. The only team that's actually sort of grabbing it and taking a chance is Man United at this moment. So it could still be anyone's season in terms of getting in the top 4. If you're looking at sort of top 6, maybe even top 7 sort of positions at this moment. Okay, so last game this weekend is Spurs against Forest. Spurs are at home. Forest likely to exit Europe tonight. They're going away to Matayland with a deficit, so I think they're quite likely to go out. Spurs are out of Champions League. Now, they put a bit of a fight, more so than we did anyway, against Atletico, but it was always going to be too big of a job, I think, from the position they're in. So both teams need to win this as a 6-point. They're 17th against 18th. It's a case of whichever team loses now, I think, is in a really, really bad position. Sorry, 16th against 17th. West Ham are still actually in the bottom 3, but it does feel like they're going to, the way they're going, I think they'll climb out of it. They're on really good form. Between these two, I think it could well be between these two now for the final relegation place, because Burnley and Wolves are surely gone. Even if Wolves do put in a bit of a comeback, they're still surely too far behind. So if there is a loser here, I'm not sure if they're going to. I think they could be they'll definitely be the team I think that's in the worst position then going into the international break. Spurs have yet to win since they got rid of Thomas Frank. They actually yet to win in the Premier League in 2026. They got a good point though last time out against Anfield. They didn't do too badly the other night, but this is a game where the pressure's really on them, and I'm gonna go for 1-1 in this one. I think I'm gonna go for 1-1. I think it might be one of them games where neither team, or if it's level coming towards the end, neither team really wants to make a mistake either. Although both teams need the win, it's also a case of neither can afford to lose this, but. Yeah, both desperately do need to win. Now, the League Cup final Arsenal against Man City. Arsenal having a much better season than Man City. Man City second, but it does feel like they've let the league slip now after the two recent draws against West Ham and Nottingham Forest, especially with their European form also going out the window as well, in that they got beat quite heavily by Real Madrid. City don't seem as strong this year. It's got to be said, they don't seem as strong. Guardiola's future, there's a bit of uncertainty there. There's a lot of uncertainty actually around a lot of the managers in the Premier League at the moment. But Guardiola, he's still a winner, and these are the type of games he could get his team to show up in. But the way Arsenal are playing, it does seem like they've got a very good chance in all four competitions this season. They'll surely win the league now. Champions League, they're in a strong position. They're one of the favourites, and you've got this and the FA Cup as well. But coming into this, could be really good. Could be a really crucial game actually. Could be a real kind of. It could be important for both actually to try and get something here. City's trying to salvage this season. They'll probably get second or they're obviously going to qualify for Champions League, but they want to win. They want to win something this season. They're in both the cups. It's going to be tough though this for them because Arsenal have been near perfect all season. They don't give much away, and I think Arsenal will win. I don't see how they don't, to be honest. I think it's close. I think I'm going to have 2-1 to Arsenal, but I think Arsenal win here. I really do, because City just don't seem to have it this season, and Arsenal have just been levels above everyone else in England. And I think the European performances from the teams, a lot of the teams have shown that, and the fact that they're so far clear of everyone else, I think, shows that for sure. But it does feel now like this really is going to be their season, and they'll surely at least win something this season. I actually think they'll win a trophy on Sunday. So, important weekend of fixtures. A lot of teams really need wins this weekend, so it's of interest to see how this plays out. After this weekend, the top four battle and also the relegation battle, those two positions in particular could look very different.